Gratitude, man.
You know what I mean?
I think people do that. That's why I send the whole perspective thing. Like everybody thinks, oh yeah, my life is bare shit. Like everything's going wrong, brother. You're still eating your meals. You still got like you're still. Let's say like for the average person, like you're still eating your meals. Got clothes on your back. You sleep in the bed at night. Like you're good.
Yeah, man. Welcome back, my peoples. Here's the intro. You know the deal, you know the style. It's your boy Bonks, and that's my guy over there.
Shay Ventures over here.
Yes, sir. Let's put the socials at the bottom. And yeah, man, I guess let us begin. First of all, thank you so much for the love you guys are showing, the likes. Not many comments, you know, these aren't really coming in on there.
No, there's consistent comments, a couple names that pop up every single video.
Usually on
show respect to them.
On the TikTok, no?
On the YouTube.
You know what? Yeah, the biggest fans. Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
You gotta recognize people.
I'm the one that replies. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You're the one who replies.
Oh yeah, that was it. That was all I was saying, mate. That was it.
You are the one that replies.
Oh,
so you should be recognizing the people.
Thank you, man. I thought you would give it. Anyways, yeah, so shout out to everybody that's commenting, liking, showing us love. It really means a lot to us. Once again, you know, random messages of people that say that, thank you so much. I can relate to this, X, Y, and Z. I've been going through the same thing. So I really understand what you guys are talking about when you talk about what you talk about. So yeah.
Do you get that many like topic recommendations?
Not at the moment, no.
If you guys drop in some topic recommendations, and then we'll just talk about anything, dilemmas, situations, and anything, literally, serious, unserious,
and everything in between.
Everything and anything.
Yeah, man. Cool. So let's hop into it. So yeah, see, the ironic thing is, when we started this, first of all, let me turn this down because it's so loud. Yeah, when we started this, we were talking about how the series is making 2022 your best year yet, right?
Yeah.
And ironically, for me personally, as an individual, so far 2022 has been the craziest start to the year I've ever had.
You expected it to be smooth sailing.
Brother, I thought it was just a simple transition.
Wait, you thought you made it? You basically thought you made it?
Nah, you know what it is? I felt like I was on a nice little trajectory where the only way is up. I can't go down. Like I just have to just keep going. Only way is up. So to obviously give you guys some context of what's been happening. I don't know. Obviously, it's still a little bit sensitive, a little bit raw, but I've just been going through some things, some challenges at work. You know, just conversations with my manager, X, Y, and Z, that have just kind of put me on ropes right now. So everything's kind of out in the open. You know, it's coming to question about what do I really want in life? What's my purpose? What I'm trying to figure out. So, you know, this is kind of touching upon the subject we had in the last video where I was talking about, you know, looking for stability versus purpose. So between last week and this week, you know, I was trying to figure out, you know, what's going on, you know, what my purpose is going to be. And that, I still pretty much struggled, right? So where my head has been like kind of in that phase is just trying to, I guess, get my head down and get back to being serious. You know what I mean? So I think what kind of happened between, I would say that, let's say between summer in August until probably December was probably the most consistent I had ever been. Well, the first time I was even consistent, the first time I was on track as an individual, and I felt so good about it that I let everything else go under fire, under siege, you know what I mean? So I just kind of, the three most important things for me was kind of going to the gym, working on YouTube, and I'd probably say like reading or like self-development, you know what I mean? Those kind of three categories. And then I just let everything else basically work, my focus, and kind of looking to the beyond, just go all over the gaff. So it's like now I'm paying for all of those decisions that I had made in the past.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, I think now what I'm just trying to figure out is like, okay, cool. So we've had so many how-tos, and you know, to fix your life first you have to do this, to become a high-value individual you have to do this, you know, to start your life you have to be habits. But then I am in the situation I'm in, so it almost comes into question is what we are talking about accurate, or where was the miss for me to be in this phase?
From the jump, you're never gonna have a perfect life. Like you're never just gonna make the right decision forever. Like life is never just gonna be straight uphill.
Misery is a part of life.
Exactly. Even what you're going through now is to be able to, anybody going through stuff, like if you've been thinking that your life has been cool, it's been chilled, there's been no stress, and then all of a sudden bare stress. Like it's not like it's random. Like your life is not meant to be perfect all the time. For starters. So I think whatever the situation is, whether it's your fault, whether it's not your fault, like everybody has to accept that like life, it goes like that. So from the jump, that's base level thinking right there.
101.
Now if you want to start taking like accountability, then it's a case of you said that you was neglecting all that stuff before, so you're just in cruise mode, that stuff. So it's like now you understand that you can't just neglect that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's going forward, you need to keep your foundations all set. Like, like at that time you probably didn't realize how important, or I guess like how important performing at work would have been, because you wasn't being challenged to perform. For example, like you show up to work, go home, get paid,
get the job done, bounce.
Now you're actually being challenged at work, which is normal because it's a professional
environment. Whereas I've never, because I was so comfortable being comfortable, now all of a sudden I'm being challenged. You're
being asked to actually work. So I get like, you're rattled by that, but you have to remember that like the job isn't the job isn't meant to be however it was all that time. Like,
it wasn't gonna last forever.
Yeah,
but I think in my head,
thought of it like you didn't think that it wasn't gonna last forever.
Yeah.
So now it's just a shock.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think one other thing that I'm also experiencing though, let's say if we take the work example out of it and just put it to a general note, one thing I also noted is that a lot of the times when life goes up in the air for myself, I tend to self-destruct, close away, and go to like, let's say, automatic mode. You know what I mean? Just do what I'm so used to. So usually when my life starts to crumble, first of all, I lock myself from everyone, hide away, keep it all to myself, and I run away, if that makes sense. So if, like, usually when I used to have old jobs, I would leave, I'd quit. It was football, I'd change football teams. If it was like kind of basically schools, I'd move schools, houses, I'd move houses. And I'm so used to running.
Everybody does it, and I think so for some people it's a bit immaturity.
Let me just quickly ask, what do you mean when you say everybody
does the whole thing of when it's perspective, like when things are going wrong, like I said, if you're used to things just going right, like if you've got a spell somewhere, let's say you start a job and then for 9 months there is no stress, everything's going all good, and then in the back end of the year suddenly you're underperforming, you can be rattled. You'll be like what's going on? And then you're gonna think that it's literally it's something outside of you basically. So that's why you leave. But first of all, it's that perspective to see that, like I said, foundation of not everything is just hunky-dory forever. Also, is to understand that like there is the whole, let's say like you would have left every time things got wrong. It's like not taking that accountability for starters, not actually thinking, not sitting and thinking, okay, what's going wrong? Why is it going wrong? Let me do something about it.
Yeah.
Like it's straight away, everything's gone left, so I need to get out.
I need to just leave.
And more time, a lot of the time, things aren't as bad as what everybody thinks it to be. Like most of the time, you're overthinking everything.
Yeah, I think I hear you. I think that let's say the difficulty though is, once again, it's so easy having that perspective in hindsight. Outside of it,
you need to have that perspective, like in general. Like it's everybody always thinks that their life is going to shit. Like their everything for them is just going left. Like, and forgetting the foundations of, like you said, when things start going mad, you'll lock yourself up and all this stuff. When if you was to really sit down and think, okay, cool, what's actually going mad right now? Like, let me actually note this out. And then if you get that stuff, put that on a piece of paper, and then you get another piece of paper and write down all the things that are actually going good. Like, life is okay.
And you know what we call that?
Perspective, bro.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah.
I was going to say gratitude as well.
Yeah, you need to have gratitude, but it's easy to say gratitude in general, like you should have gratitude in life. But in this specific scenario, when you're thinking about that, because you can say gratitude on life, but it's just the whole perspective of that. The stuff that's going wrong with you with this specific thing, whether it be a sport that you're doing, or it be a job or whatever, it's that whole comparing is showing you that even if you just focus on the problems that you're looking at are not that big of a problem, even in that field. Like, let's say, for example, you're a footballer, yeah. Let's say you're a footballer, you're kicking ball and stuff, and you've been missing games. You're still a part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're missing games maybe because you're just not good enough to make it onto the starting 11. Okay, cool. Why am I not good enough? What do I need to do better? Who do I need to talk to? Like, it's look at the problem and tackle the problem. That's what people don't do.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to run away from problems.
For real.
Right.
And you know, typical me, as I had before, that was my go-to. But I think I had another, let's say that, so in the reality of it right now, the other conflict is understanding. Yeah, so it's understanding, not necessarily understanding, but having this want of, I do not want to be in this job anymore, number one. Number two, it's the awareness of, you know, we will die at some point. Life is very short. So combining those two, why am I sticking to this job, which is allowing me to give my foundation, so then when I want to leave, because I have now found what I want to do, I have the foundation set. Why do that when I can just go after what I want now? Why can't I just go after what I want now? Knowing I'm going to die soon.
You have to remember, like, life isn't a movie. Like,
but life is short.
Like, yeah, life is short for everybody. But life is still life. At the end of the day, like, you have to follow the rules of life. Like, you can say, yeah, life is short, so yeah, let me just YOLO everything. Bro, like,
it's not that perspective. Because let me ask you, as an individual, how aware of your mortality?
Very aware.
How does it drive your day to day?
I'm aware that I can die at any moment. So what I will do is I will make sure that I'm living my life like how I'm living my life to the happiest that I can every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But when, like, in the world that we're in, you just have to remember, like, just how the world, you can't just live without rules, doing whatever you want.
Okay. So you can't live rules doing whatever you want. Let me pause that. So if we back up and say that you're living every day with happiness, to the fullest, isn't that contradictory to, because would you say you're living the happiest at the moment, or are you living the happiest knowing that one day you'll be happier?
It's that whole question of what does it mean to have freedom? Like, what is freedom? At the end of the day, nobody's free, because we all follow the rules of like the country or the law or all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you still need to find your balance within that. Like, I can say right now that yes, I'm not living my days how I want to and everything, but I'm working towards. If I was to say, all right, cool, I don't want to work no more. Like, I don't want to work no more. I want to do whatever I want to do. Doing what you want to do requires something. You have to give to get.
Mm-hmm.
So more time, money. You need money to be able to live how you want to live. You would be able to do what you want to do for a certain amount of time until you run out of money.
That's only granted that what you're doing isn't providing value.
What do you mean?
So you know, the breakdown of what you do is a direct reflection of how much value you provide. So the more value you provide, the more society will give you money. So if you're doing something that's worthwhile, so for example,
you have to be doing something that's going to make you money.
That you just said that.
So what would you go on to do that's going to make you money now? Like,
I'm just saying it for an example. That's what I'm saying in the mindset of a lot of the situations right now. It's just stay doing your job until you have enough money to then remove your job and go do what you want.
And you're saying, or why don't people just do not go that route of doing what they don't enjoy, and then that just goes straight to the route of enjoyment? Because the reason why you can't do that,
not necessarily like enjoyment
doing what you want to do to make money, basically. The reason why you can't do that is because it takes time. And it costs money to make money. Like, it's how I think whatever you lot want to do, it's either going to cost you time to get it done before you start making anything, or it's going to cost you money. For example, this podcast that we're doing right now, it's a time thing. Like, because you need certain things to be able to make money. Like, you need, using the podcast as an example, to get paid from YouTube, you need to have 1,000 subs, you need to have 4,000 watch hours. You need to get that. It's either going to come through time. In fact, yeah, it's going to come through time. Even if you had all the money.
Or another avenue also comes through knowledge. So the reason why I say knowledge is, for example, if we take ourselves on how quickly,
it still takes time, bro. No matter how smart, like it's this, you can't brush the fact that you need to get paid from YouTube ads. You need 1,000 followers, 4,000 watch hours. No matter how smart you are.
So so let me rephrase it. So yes, it takes time.
Yeah.
But when we say time, we say it could take 6 months to a year.
It will take other people faster depending on how much they know. Yeah. But even then, no matter how much you know, it's still, for example, let's say you knew every single thing that you had to do. A part of that is going to be making quality content. To make quality content, like, even doing this isn't free. It costs money. Where's the money coming from if you ain't got the money? Like, you need an income to be able to, and even to consistently be able to do it.
I agree with you, but then it's also the type of income. So it doesn't have to be an expeditious. I could just be working at McDonald's, for example.
Remember, I said it in the uni podcast about what people should do if they're not going to get any job, so that you're getting paid and then do what you enjoy doing. Like, that's what, honestly, I believe everybody that's like 16 onwards should do if they're not gonna go like the uni route. If you know what you enjoy.
Yeah, just go straight into employment.
Just get any job that's gonna pay, and then just put all your money in.
Keep it stepping.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, you're left with the two things you need: money, time.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. So the output that I've seen, let's say in the past month, has just kind of put into perspective and into reality the situation I am in, and the questions I need to ask myself and the decisions I need to make, if that makes sense, on how long I'm actually going to do this, why I'm actually doing it. Like, just to now just set those goals and set those boundaries. Whereas before it was more of a, 2-3 years and I'll have X amount of money.
Remember when you said that you was going to stay at Amazon for like 3 years or whatever, and I said
5.
5. You remember my reaction? It's not happening, bro. Yeah. But I get, so with you, for example, you say that, so right now, you have forget that, different point. Let's say you've got the money and you say, okay, cool, I've got the money so I can leave my job and I can do what I want to do. You have to remember that nothing is guaranteed as well. Of course. Even if you say, cool, I've got enough money to get me through the year to do what I want to do, and I will use that year to build up this income, whatever. You have to remember that year is a make or break. Do you really want to put yourself in a situation like that? Like, well, be a risk taker, whatever you can if you want. It depends on what type of person you are.
Yeah, your risk tolerance.
You have to be aware that if things don't go right, are you like, what's going to happen at the end of it? Like, I mean, everybody just has to know that.
Because it's not as simple as, okay, this is my dream now. I've got 100,000 in the bank, for example. Yeah. Okay, let's lock in. Oh, year one, all of a sudden I've made 5 million, and from the first launch XYZ. It usually doesn't.
Make it a bit more relatable for people. Listen, because when you're young, everything is. I was like it as well with football. I was like, yeah, man, I'm going pro. Everybody's like, we're going pro. We're gonna work, and we will, no matter what, we'll make it.
Yeah, but if we had stayed, I mean, there's a lot of ifs and buts.
But we're not there right now, and that's the point. And loads of people will go through it where whatever their hustle is, they'll put their all into it with no backup plan. I don't agree with plan Bs. Like, I think have your plan A. I'm a big advocate of plan out your plan A so much that all avenues are kind of covered, basically.
Yeah. Like, all kind of worst case scenarios.
It should be covered in your plan A. They don't I don't believe when people say, okay, cool, you got your dream, you should have a backup. You should have a safe
in case your dream
doesn't bang. Nah, because that's not what I want to do. Like, crazy. I want to do this.
This or nothing.
So what you've got to do is think about all the different avenues of how you're going to get to this. Like, whatever route you got to go. Even if, okay, you started off with money to last you the year and that doesn't bang.
Now, how do you?
It's like you've already thought about, okay, cool, if that doesn't bang and I get to that, okay, now I'll probably have to work or whatever, but I need to get a job that allow me to still do this, so I can still. At the end of the day, you need to know what you want. That's where your problem is. That's
what my problem is, my boy.
Yeah. Not knowing, because you can. Yeah, like you need to know what it is that you're trying to do. That's the big thing. So what you saying? Would you trying to think about it this week?
Yeah, because for me, it's just the timeline's crazy. The timeline's crazy. A week to figure out what I want to do for like the rest of my life is crazy. Like
It's not like don't think about it. Like
I'm exaggerating. So, I mean, I've done a lot of like these exercises. You know, noting down what I used to like when I was a kid in childhood, what I used to do, what I used to spend my time doing, flow state, la la la. So I've got like a general gist of those arts, if you will. But now it's more about getting into the mindset of, okay, this is because right now it's like the things that I like to do, it's still from money perspective of, okay, if I was to be a writer, for example, I'm not making any money, so I don't want to quit my job and just write for like a month straight or 10 months straight. But if you ask me how many times I've written 5 pages or mini stories since I graduated uni, I've got pages and pages and pages, if that makes sense. So I've got stuff that I like, but I'm literally, the way my brain is still functioning is I'm still driven by money. And if yes, I like this, or yes, this is my purpose, but if I can't see, okay, purpose equals money, then it's almost like the money outweighs the purpose. So I still got that mindset.
Yeah, you can, because there is hobbies, and then there's hobbies, and then your hustles. Like you want to enjoy your hustles, whatever it's gonna be. But remember that you still have hobbies that you don't need to get paid from. And then you can think, okay, cool. Start with the hobbies. Is there anything that I can do with these hobbies that I would do as a hustle? Like think about it like that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rather than going, okay, what's gonna make me all the money? Do I enjoy it? And coming back to,
can it be a hobby? Yeah. It's true. I mean, yeah, I've got a lot of more thinking to do, but right now I'm just trying to stop myself from drowning.
What's drowning?
You know what's happening on Tuesday.
But like you said, even then, on a worst case scenario, like I know it's easier to say. It's kind of easy for me to say because I've been through so many of the times of, like, at the end of the day, life will be okay. It's easy to say it when you've been through it, but to say it to you, for example, is to remember the facts of, at the end of the day, if you thought about every scenario, thought about both scenarios, yes, one is more favorable than the other. Yes, you will be stressed if one thing happens over the other, but at the end of the day, everything will be okay.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, and you need to also trust that, like, you need to remember that you're not going to let yourself drown unless you want to drown. If you want to drown, then cool, be scared of drowning.
Yeah.
If you don't want to drown, like, respect yourself. You're not going to let yourself drown, whatever happens. Like, you need to remember what matters at the end of the day to you. What matters to you? What matters to you is not going to the bottom. What matters to you is living life, enjoying it, all this stuff. If it really matters to you, going backwards shouldn't scare you. Like, I was never, when I was at my lowest year, I was never scared of going backwards. I was scared of staying where I was. Backwards, honestly, I can't comprehend going backwards. I just can't comprehend it. It's just impossible to me. I can't, because it's like, it's just not who I am. Like,
it's just not
to
you.
be that person.
Okay.
I can only stay where I am, or I can go forwards. That's it. You have to just remember what you're on.
So what's backwards? Like, it doesn't need to be specifically. So can you generalize going backwards?
For example, for backwards, backward would be, let's say going backwards. So not doing, for me, or
whichever's easier to give context to myself, to the people, if that makes sense.
Let's say I think it's easier to say for you, like, because I understand what yours would be. So it's like going backwards to you would be, say, being broke, having no money, having unhealthy habits, having no money, having unhealthy habits, not moving, not doing basically what you want to be doing, not enjoying life. So it's like going broke. Do you honestly believe that with all your financial knowledge, you could go broke, whatever happens? Unless, like, so without you actively going out and basically just chucking everything away.
No.
So without you physically going out and just chucking everything away, could you ever go broke?
Not anymore.
Exactly. Because of the foundations that you set, and even if you destroy those foundations, the knowledge that you have, even if you go to zero, you can get yourself back out of it. That's one thing. That's one thing sorted.
Okay.
Like the habits thing, maybe that might be another bit of thing, because that's more mental, like you going back into bad habits or whatever. But even then, it's like where you are now, the kind of stuff that you've got set up, that the foundation you got for yourself, even going gym and that. Like, do you want to go back to being a liquor man?
Never.
Like, exactly.
Never again.
You don't want to go back to being a liquor man.
The only way I'll go is up.
Exactly. So you stay where you are, or you go up. And the things that allow you to do that is, let's say, your financial stability. Financial stability is not going nowhere. So it's like it's just understanding who you are. Like, I know for me, my going backwards would be being somebody that is, say, mentally weak, unmotivated, just not doing nothing for myself. Like
bad decision making, probably.
Yeah.
And greed.
Yeah, the greed stuff. Not gonna lie, the whole greed stuff, I've embraced it. The greed, like you lot. When I tell you, I just want it all. Like I just want everything that I can want.
But I think with you, it's the greed is when you've got it all and you want more. If that makes sense. That would be your greed, because I think now what you've grown to understand, from my opinion, unless obviously you're hiding shit, is now you know what you want, and you know the boundaries of, okay, this is what I want, and do I want to risk what I want to get this little bit more, or is this okay for me? Yeah,
I understand that. Like, I've always had that problem.
Oh, it was me. It was like I was saying about you of where I think you're backwards is now you've got that kind of let's say that sensor, like you've built in like a defense mechanism now to say, okay, Shay's at this crossroad of he needs to make a decision of risk what he has to get more. Now your alarms will start ringing to prevent you from risking that to get if that makes sense.
In some way, I think I'll still make a lot of mistakes, but I think at the end of the day, like my thing is for as long as I'm mentally like strong, as long as I'm mentally strong and I'm emotionally strong, then whatever mistakes I make, I'll be able to come back because of the knowledge. Like, and I also know that with that knowledge, I won't do certain stuff. Like I won't certain stuff, like nowadays I've noticed as well, like things that I would have done way back, now I won't even think about doing it, because I just know it doesn't make sense to do it. I know what it's gonna do.
So things that you would have done that you won't do anymore, that
even
won't
like
make sense to do.
For example, like work.
For what outcome? So things that you would have done that it doesn't make
on the bad. So it's like I was very feeling orientated before. So if I don't want to do something, I'll just be out.
Okay.
Whereas like now, I wouldn't even think about kind of just not doing something or doing something just based on what I feel, because I know where I'm trying to go. I know where just following what I feel is gonna take me.
Take you. Cool.
So just on that, but yeah, for me, it's not really like backwards to me isn't a physical thing. Like I understand I could, you know, like you have your rock bottoms, different points in life, and they'll all be at different kind of levels. It's your perspective on what rock bottom is.
Cool.
And I understand that another one might come, whatever. But like, as long as I am still mentally strong, I'm aware, I've got my emotions like nice pattern, I've got the right people around me. Like those are the foundations that I know I'll never go like back to.
Cool.
Yeah, so everybody's got their own, and it's just remembering what your foundations are, match them up to what you want. But yeah, the purse thing, it's a hard thing. Like, remember I said to you last year, would have been during summer, where I even showed you about the whole thing of that I want to open a training center. Like I only figured that out last year, and I was like, okay, cool, that's my big thing that I want to accomplish in life, and I understand that it's going to take loads to get to it, so everything is just a stepping stone. But I only figured that out last year. Before that, had a gap of not knowing what I want to do, not knowing what I'm going to do, and then before that it was obviously football. So you have to accept, everybody has to accept that you'll go through like waves.
These waves.
You have to accept that you don't need to have all the answers to everything. You just need to have like your foundations. If you're to say, cool, you don't know what you want, but if you don't know what you want, just live life for a bit. you keep your same standards. Like you still keep your job, keep your finances stable. Like you need to
I
work
like that
towards
one.
something.
I like that one.
Yeah, you need to keep your foundations. Like you don't need to know your purpose. Yeah, you don't need to know what the hell you want to do for the rest of your life now. I was only saying it before because it was showing like it was affecting your foundations. Like you not having your purpose, you're starting to make decisions that were going to affect your foundations. You need to keep your foundations on lock and just live and just figure out. Like I said, I don't think people can find their purpose through just learning about loads of different stuff. Like you got to do stuff. Just live.
Yeah, I hear that. I guess that's the next thing for me is just to start, just do, man, just getting shit done and doing.
Just experience life, man.
Which I'm gonna try and do, but I think I'm at let's say now that I've had so much fear of stepping outside of that box because I've worked so hard or tried so hard to get this foundation, if that makes sense, to get to.
Yeah. And another point, so remember you said about obviously life is short. You have to remember that for both sides. The same way life is short, so you should do what you want and be happy with stuff. You have to remember that life is short, so things can also be taken away. And because life is short, it is what it is, bro. Like even when things get taken away, even if you are to lose everything, like you have to remember life is short. So you need to just carry on moving. Just
keep it stepping.
Yeah, and that fear of going back to zero, you have to get rid of fear. You have to get rid of fear of going back to zero.
I think it was one of the philosophers, I think it was Socrates, one of the rich ones, or could have been Aristotle, what he used to do to embrace life, right, once a month, like he was a rich king back in the day, and to embrace life, what we'd do for one day every month, he would go live life like a peasant. He'd go be out in the streets, just to remind himself of, okay, if I lose everything, this is what it's going to be like. So number one, let me work hard not to lose it. But number two, let me also put into context that if I am to lose it, this is what it feels like for it to be lost.
Gratitude, man.
You know what I mean?
I think people overlook that. That's why I send the whole perspective thing. Like everybody thinks, oh yeah, my life is bare shit. Like everything's going wrong, brother. You're still eating your meals. You still got like let's say like for the average person, like you're still eating your meals. You got clothes in your back. You sleep in the bed at night. Like you're good.
Brother, I had 5 meals yesterday.
Exactly, bro. Like your mind is still sharp. Like yeah, your emotions might be all over the place, and yeah, you might be a bit lost, but you just don't keep yourself there. Like, it's all up to you.
You hear that,
perspective, man. Everybody doesn't. People don't think about things from both ends. People just think about things from the end that they want to think about it. Like, everything has both sides. You need to accept the good and the bad. Like you can't be chasing victory and be scared
of
losing.
Yeah, I hear that, man.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, how would you wrap this one up? How would you summarize this one?
I would just summarize it to say that you don't need to know your purpose or what you want to do with your whole life. For everybody at any age, I mean, I'm a young G. I've got no right to say to all this.
Like 25, 28, 29?
Really, at heart, I think I'm like 512.
old man.
But yeah, I think you don't need to, as long as you have your foundations set. Like, just make sure you got your foundations patterned and what's the thing? Perspective, man. Perspective. Like, everybody goes through ups and downs. Nobody's life is great the whole way. Don't listen to everything that you see online. You see everybody living happy and all this stuff.
This right here is the reality. This is it. Like you lot are going through it, but this is what you see on camera right now. This is the reality of life.
You lot that watch Source Got Spilled as well, and all you see is vibes. When you watch us on TikTok live, all you see is vibes. Like this is everything that's actually
inside,
going on
inside here at its rawest form, and this is probably still holding a fair few bits back as well. But this is what we want to like put context on. Of we go through this as well. Like you're not the only ones. This is what we feel, and this is how we think we should navigate the world. You know what I mean?
It's huge. Like as we get bigger as well. That's how we're so big. We want to stay connected to you lot. While we are still small. Like on the road, we see every single message, every comment, every like, everything. We see it all, and we appreciate it. And just say keep on engaging with us. Keep on liking the videos. Drop a comment, please, because as we get bigger, the more people, first of all, the more you lot like interact and engage, the more the content gets shown to other people. And then as we get bigger, more things start to come in. Like, we just want to spread that awareness that a lot of people are in the same boat, especially at our age.
Especially our
and
age.
a lot of people don't talk. That's why there's I see a lot of stuff on the whole mental health and all of that. But I just think, there needs to be more people that are in positions that all of us want to be, talk more about like just how things are.
Yeah. So like, more people at the top talking about how things.
And as well, like people that are on their way. I know it's hard. It's hard to talk about your journey while you're going on it, because it was very easier for us to just not do this podcast today. Because see us the other day, Russell messaged that, don't know what we're going to talk about today because head's all over the place. And I said, let's debunk like the past week, what you've been thinking about. And his automatic reaction is, nah, it's too early. But look, he's here now talking about it. And hopefully like this conversation has helped people. So yeah, it's just, as well, if you're trying to do the same kind of thing that we're trying to do, just do it. Like, soldier up.
Yeah, and do it.
Soldier up and just talk through your process.
And if you are struggling to do that, give us a shout and talk to us about it.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? If you feel like you can connect with us, talk to us. We won't judge you. We don't know you. You don't know us. So it's not like we're going to tell your friends or your mum or whatever. We'll judge you. So yeah, man, if you need somebody to connect to, try speak your source, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, man. It's been a pleasure. Much appreciated, my brother. It's been your boy Bongs.
It's been Shay Ventures.
And yeah, man, we out. Peace.